Hi, welcome to the Book Twins. I'm Kimberly,
I'm Carly.
and here we go.
All right, so today we are going to talk about, we have some questions that we're going to ask each other and see what our answers are.
Yes.
So
you can get to know a little bit more about us and how we're the same and how we're different.
Yes, so the first question, Kimberly is going to start out with.
All right, Carly. Who is your favorite all-time character?
So my favorite all-time character would definitely be Superman. I love superheroes, and he is my favorite. He's just the all-around, good guy. He's the, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. He's just, he's the one that always chooses the right. He's the one you can always rely on more than any other character. And there's so many different adaptations of Superman, so you can choose, the ones you like better, the ones you don't. But Superman would definitely be my favorite.
Yeah, and for me, oh my goodness, I love Superman, Clark Kent. We kind of fell in love with him same time, you're not right. But if I had to pick a different one, I would pick Richard Rahl from the Sword of Truth trilogy by Terry Goodkind.
Okay.
So, all right.
Very nice. So, let's see. The second question is, what is the most influential book you've ever read?
Honestly, Harry Potter. It was the book that came out as we were growing up. I remember that the movie came out and I really wanted to see it. My mom was like, you have to read the book first if you want to see the movie. And I was like, fine. And so I did. I loved it. So it taught me how important it is to read the books before movies, which is, as we know, a great lesson to learn. Also, it taught me not to be afraid of big books, because just because they're big doesn't mean they're not full of wonderful happiness.
Yeah. For me too, I would have to say Harry Potter, because it was the first, it was the first, chapter book. It was the first big book that I had ever read, and it's what started me liking books, was Harry Potter. So all of the, the really good, influential books I've read since then have all come from me learning to like reading from reading Harry Potter when I was, 10.
Yeah. We always joke in our family that Harry Potter taught Carly how to read. Now, that wasn't necessarily true, but it's a fun joke that we like to toss around every now and then.
I had no interest in reading.
No.
Before then. I think I was 8, actually. I was young, but I had really no interest in reading whatsoever. And then, so me and I had this cousin. He's the same age as me, and he was reading it, and he was telling me everything that was happening.
He was a little bit of a braggart.
He was, and I was a bit competitive, and so I was fine. You know what? I'm gonna read it before you can tell me. And so it took me a while to get through it, but once I did. I just really loved it. It's what started me loving reading.
So,
right.
I mean, who doesn't love Harry Potter, right? All right. Which book, Carly, did you most enjoy the movie adaptation of?
All right. So for this one, I couldn't find the physical book.
We do have it.
We do have it somewhere.
It's lost.
But I can't find it. But it would be The Martian by Andy Weir, which so the story behind that one was it had come out in the theaters, and we wanted to go see it.
It was a Friday night.
Yes,
we
Friday night.
drove down to the movie theater. Let's go see it. We went to dinner first.
We went to dinner, and we were talking about it, and we have a really hard time seeing the movie without reading the book first. So we're fine.
We were feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
So we went to the bookstore instead and bought the book. And we're we're going to read it. And, if we really hate the book, then whatever. We'll just go see the movie without finishing it. But no, so we started reading it, and then absolutely loved the book. I think we bought it Friday night. We went to saw the movie Saturday night, and we both had already finished it. Mm-hmm. And then we gave it to our brother, and he finished it within 2 sittings. He finished the book.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
Right. One thing to say about The Martian, the book, it is very humorous. There's a lot of comedic elements, and so trying to see how they were going to translate all those different elements into movie form was very entertaining to watch, and they were very creative and they nailed it pretty well.
They did.
The movie itself is very comedic, and it's really fun to see how they were able to translate all of the parts in the book to the movie. So that's fun.
Yeah. It was very entertaining, and there's a lot of cussing in the book. Oh, yeah. And of course the movie, if they had added all of that into the movie, it would have made the movie rated R, because they have the F-bomb a lot in there. And it was entertaining to watch how they put it in there without actually putting it in there.
Yes. So, needless to say, we were laughing a lot during the movie.
I think I went to go see it in theaters with like 4 times.
Yeah.
That's how much I loved it.
It was pretty great.
All right.
Oh, for me. My turn, right?
Yes, your turn. What's yours?
I'm not going to pick the same. I'm going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. I personally really enjoyed the Hunger Game adaptations of those books. They did fantastic. The casting was great. I feel like that the added effects that can't exactly be depicted super well in book form just made the movie even better than the books. And the books were already fantastic to begin with. And so overall, it was just phenomenal. So that's my favorite.
Absolutely. They were really good books and movies. All right. So the next one is, what book have you reread the most?
Okay. So I don't exactly keep count. Maybe I should for times like this. But I reread this one a lot. You can see.
Eden Brooke.
Uh-huh. The author is Julianne Donaldson. It's a romance. It's called a Regency novel, so it's set back in England, in that time period. It is fantastic. It's just fluff, like cotton candy, and I realize that. There's not a lot of plot, character development, and anything like that, but it is one of those books that I can just sit down, enjoy. It's de-stressor, and I reread it many, many times. I don't even know. Just guilty pleasure, for sure.
It's just a book you thoroughly enjoy the plot of, whether it's...
Exactly.
No matter how many times.
Exactly. And the other one that I have reread a lot is Twilight. I've read those books a lot, and part of it is because when I was a teenager and I was really into it, they were just so great, and I reread them so much, my favorite parts, and I have parts memorized. I reread it again recently, actually, and they did not age super well. I could totally tell, ooh, wow, I was a teenager when I read them. I appreciated the teenage humor, and I don't so much as an adult, but doesn't mean I don't still love it, because it's very nostalgic for me, for sure. What about you, Carly?
For me, would be Harry Potter. It's, that's what started my, reading journey, and so it's the books I've reread the most. Out of the 7 books, I would say number 4 is probably the one I've probably read that, 10 plus times. I've read.
Very good.
It's my favorite of the series, and I've reread it so many times. And it's kind of like you said, it's nostalgic. It when you reread books, it's reminding you almost of who you were when you first fell in love with that book.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a window into a different time for yourself.
Absolutely.
Even if Twilight, the books don't age well.
Right. I do have a question out there for y'all fans. Do you ever... Okay, so this is very weird, and I don't know if it's only me, but when I have gone back and to reread some of those books that are so close to my heart, like Twilight or Harry Potter, or ones that I read when I was a teenager and I was going through a lot of, emotions and hormones and stuff like that, some of those same feelings come back to me when I reread those same parts, and it's almost like I am reliving memories of the time when I read it for the first time or when I reread it a lot. Does that happen to any of you guys, or you, Carly?
Yeah, it definitely does. There's this one series that I was reading in middle school, I think it was. I think it was in 8th grade. It's called Ranger's Apprentice by John Flanagan, I think. And it's a book that's very much meant for 10, 12...
Middle
schoolers. And, I've reread it as an adult. And it just reminds me of all of, the trauma that was going on when I was 12.
Yeah, interesting.
When I was in 8th grade.
Yeah. Huh.
But it's fun.
Yeah, books. They do wild things for us, don't they?
All right.
Okay, last one.
Last
You ready?
question.
Carly, name one of your book pet peeves.
Okay, so there is a couple, and I think I put one on, TikTok or something. But the one I'm going to talk about today is when publishers or authors or whatever, they change the style of the covers mid-series.
That is so frustrating.
You have your nice books and you want them to look nice on your shelf. And so when they change the style mid-series and then your first book doesn't match with the last one, that bothers me so much. If you're going to change the style, fine, but wait till all the books are out.
Right.
So you can have books that match. I hate it when they do that.
Oh, I hate that too.
So annoying.
It is so
It makes me not want to buy the next one. So there's a couple series that I've gone on strike that I'm not
absolutely
buying the next ones, even though I really love the books, because they did that.
Right, and we don't want to criticize too much when it comes to different authors' creativity, but I do know there was this one book don't remember the name, but book 1 came out, and we took a chance. We bought it straight from the shelves at Barnes & Noble, had heard nothing about it. We're like, let's give it a try. Sounds interesting.
And it was really
we read it, loved it, and the second book that came out was a different art cover, like completely different.
Completely different style. It didn't match.
It was so frustrating that being a little bit petty, or like, I'm not going to spend the money on the second book because they won't match. And honestly, I don't even remember what the plot was of the book to begin with, so it wasn't even that great. So, our pettiness came out a little bit there.
A little bit, but it's a pet peeve. I hate it when they don't match. I want them to match. I want them to look nice on my shelf.
Right. When we spend the money, we get a say.
All right, so tell us some of your either pet peeves or your favorite books or some of your answers to these questions. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.